The movie kicks off with Russell Millings, a guy who spent more time behind bars than most people have spent in traffic. He's always pondering his past and that little crime he committed. But one fine day, a prison guard barges in, shouting, "Hey, it's your get-out-of-jail card day." Millings, in a rush, starts stuffing his prison loot into a bag, even snagging a newspaper for nostalgia. Before you know it, they hand him some snazzy new dudes, and after a paperwork party, he strolls out of the prison like he's strutting down a red carpet. Next, we see Millings landing a job at a diner and scoring a cozy crib. Well, at least it has a TV for watching reruns of Survivor, Cell Block Edition. Having been locked away for 2 decades, he's about as tech-savvy as a penguin with a typewriter, clueless about emails and the internet. Nights, they're all about munching grub and binge-watching TV shows. The next day, Millings pays a visit to an officer who breaks the news that reports must now be sent via email, freeing Millings from his personal paparazzi. The officer also drops a hint that after a month of playing nice, Millings will be granted a one-way ticket to a parole party. Following this, Millings embarks on a journey into an internet cafe, where his web cluelessness becomes the main attraction. A helpful kid steps in to assist him in uncovering an article about his father's heart attack back in March 2001. But Millings' daydreaming at the cafe earns him a scolding from his boss. After his work shift, Millings decides to visit an amusement park, attempting to rediscover his inner child while winning a few carnival games. But alas, reality kicks in when duty calls him back the next day. Later, he returns to the coffee shop where the kid had roasted him earlier for being stuck in the prehistoric era without a phone or email. However, when Millings casually mentions his 20-year prison sentence, the kid's attitude flips faster than a pancake on a griddle, offering to be Millings' email guru. During his nocturnal gig, Millings agrees to extend his stay at the diner. After locking up shop, his boss hands him the golden key to the diner's entrance, saying, "Don't let the burglars bite." Millings keeps the place spick and span, but while tossing out the trash, he hears a sound that's not on the menu, a baby's cry. With Sherlock-level sleuthing skills, he pinpoints the source, a dumpster right next to him. In an epic plot twist, he unearths a wee baby girl, snug as a bug in a trashy rug. Without a second thought, Millings rescues her and dashes to the diner. A note tags along, revealing the baby's name as Ella. Millings tries to dial 911, but the diner's closed for the night, so home sweet home it is. In his humble abode, as soon as he plunks Ella on his bed, she cranks up the waterworks. Hours pass, and Millings employs all his trickery to lull her into a lullaby land. He thinks about calling 911, but then he decides it's a baby step too far. As the night continued, 2 police officers came because Millings had called them. They heard the baby crying and thought Millings was the father. They suggested giving the baby a tummy massage. The next morning, Ella cried again, so Millings tried to calm her with creamy milk. He went to the nearby superstore to buy some bottled milk for her. He had a hard time finding it, but a store worker helped him and even asked if his wife was breastfeeding the baby. Millings said no and left, but when he got home, he dropped his groceries. To his surprise, when he returned home, Ella was peacefully asleep. Millings was curious about what to do with an abandoned baby, so he did some research at an internet cafe. He found out that you're supposed to tell the authorities if you find a baby left alone, or you might be accused of kidnapping. Despite knowing the risks, Millings kept Ella a secret and planned a special trip to the beach with her. They spent a whole day there, enjoying the beautiful scenery and walking along the wet sand. But when they got back home, Ella fell from the bed and got a small injury. Millings hugged her tightly to comfort her. The next day, Millings took Ella to a doctor. While at the hospital, an employee asked him about how he found Ella. Millings honestly admitted he found her in a dumpster. Unfortunately, the well-meaning employee reported this to the police and child services. In the next part of the story, the authorities showed up, asking Millings many questions. Ella was taken away, probably to foster care. It was clear Millings had grown very attached to the baby. He shared all the information he had about where and how he found Ella. One officer gave him her card and told him to call if he learned more. The day after, Millings tried to act normal as he went to work, but he was confronted by 2 investigators and his boss. They wanted to see where he found Ella. Feeling guilty, Millings told them everything but changed the timeline slightly. These officers knew about his unusual absence from work because they had talked to the diner manager. They questioned his honesty, looked into his parole request, and even suspected him of wrongdoing with Ella. After they left, Millings' boss awkwardly asked for the diner keys back, making Millings feel embarrassed. Unable to handle the situation any longer, Millings quit his job. He packed his things from the motel and decided to return to his hometown in Casper, Wyoming. Along the way, he remembered Ella and looked at a map she had bitten. At a bus stop, he met a distressed girl who had lost her ticket. Feeling compassion for her, Millings offers a napkin to assist in drying her tears and bringing some cheer to her spirits. Later, when he stops to grab a meal for himself, he realizes he's a bit short on cash, resulting in him settling for a simple loaf of bread. However, like clockwork, the girl from earlier reappears with some snacks as a token of gratitude. While he's nibbling on his bread, Millings encounters a minor hiccup in swallowing, but the girl steps in, averting a potential bread-related crisis. Soon after, they hit it off, and Millings concocts a mustard mayo sandwich. Initially, the girl teases him about it, but before long, she's thoroughly enjoying each bite. They connect over their meal and thoroughly enjoy each other's company. Subsequently, they introduce themselves, with the girl going by Diana, a vivacious bundle of energy, while Millings embodies a quieter and more modest demeanor. They engage in conversation about various topics, including their preferred colors and movies, as their journey continues. As evening descends upon them in Denver, Diana graciously provides Millings with her brother's cafe address, where she plans to stay. They exchange a friendly handshake before parting ways, and Millings resumes his solo adventure. A few hours later, he reaches Casper and settles near the cemetery gate for the night. Come morning, he pays a visit to his parents' final resting place, pouring out his emotions and expressing how deeply he misses them. He takes the time to tidy up the surroundings, apologizes to his father, and makes a heartfelt promise to steer his life in a positive direction. With gratitude, he thanks his parents for their loving care during his childhood. Following that, Millings takes a moment to relax by their graves, cherishing the joyful memories they shared. While touching his neck, he discovers a key that has been hanging there for a considerable duration. This triggers his recollection of the key and the information about a safety deposit box left by his father. Without any delay, he makes a beeline to the bank. At the bank, he provides the receptionist with an explanation of the situation, mentioning his father and the box. Initially met with skepticism, the employees eventually validate his identity, confirming his familial connection. They grant him access to the box and also share that his father was a highly regarded customer. Accompanied by an employee, Millings makes his way to the vault, where the box is retrieved. Left alone with the box, he opens it, revealing a heartfelt note from his father, overflowing with love and admiration. His father even references a cherished stamp collection he had acquired during Millings' childhood. This discovery fills Millings with overwhelming joy. The note concludes with his father's heartfelt wish for Millings to take good care of himself and embark on his new life. Filled with excitement, Millings heads to a storage unit and discovers an impeccably organized collection of stamps. The sight moves him so deeply that he is brought to tears. 3 months later, Millings pays a visit to the foster home, eager to reunite with Ella. However, a police officer from a previous encounter informs him that the visit is not feasible at the moment. Undeterred, Millings expresses his heartfelt desire to adopt Ella, only to receive a swift denial. Nevertheless, he hands over an envelope, requesting the officer to give it to Ella on her 18th birthday. When asked why he chose her 18th birthday, Millings chuckles and says the envelope spills the beans about those fancy stamps. He figures Ella can handle the stampede of stamp knowledge once she's all grown up. It shows he's all set to welcome her into the family when the time is right. As the movie wraps up, Millings strolls over to a bus stop, hops on a bus, and leaves his current spot behind, ready to embrace what lies ahead.